you ever noticed how the people who look rich aren't always the ones who are actually rich? Think about it. Warren Buffett lives in the same house he bought over 60 years ago. Mark Zuckerberg, same gray t-shirt every day. And yet the most expensive cars are often driven by people struggling to pay off the loan, and yet the top two favorite car brands of millionaires are Hondas and Toyotas. This is not a coincidence. It's an intentional strategy. I'm Aesan, a qualified accountant with 13 years experience, including time at two Big Four firms and currently at a big tech company in London over the past 3 years. During my career, I have worked closely with multi-millionaires across the UK, US, and Europe. And I have seen this strategy play over time and time again. So in this video, I'll reveal the 4 reasons why looking rich isn't worth the effort and how letting go of it can actually make you rich. So why do the rich try not to look rich in the first place? This is where the psychology of stealth wealth comes in. Here's something most people get wrong. They think being wealthy is about showing wealth, but for the truly wealthy, it's the opposite. Their focus isn't on impressing others, it's actually on staying rich and free. Imagine this, you walk into a car dealership in your everyday clothes. The salesperson assumes you're on a budget and works harder to give you a deal, maybe even some extras. Now compare that to someone who walks in wearing designer brands from head to toe. They are immediately tagged as someone who doesn't need a discount, so they will pay the full price. This is not just an anecdote, it's psychology backed by research. Studies show that people are more likely to negotiate with individuals who appear modest. It's a simple strategy that saves the wealthy thousands whether they're buying a car, a house, or even closing a business deal. But it's not just about money. Looking rich often comes with unnecessary noise, sales pitches, shallow relationships, and endless distractions. Being modest, on the other hand, it's a power move for 3 distinct reasons. Number 1, you focus on your goals. Your energy shifts from appearances to what actually matters, like financial independence or personal growth. Number 2, you make smarter choices. Without the pressure to keep up, you stay grounded and true to your values. Number 3, you attract real connections. People value you for who you are, not what you own. Your relationships are built on genuine connection, not materialistic expectations. But what is the true financial cost of looking rich? Let me ask you something. Have you ever bought something just because you wanted to look good in front of others? Don't worry if you have, we've all been there, and that includes me having done it more than a few times, until I realized the truth that the designer bag, the flashy car, or even the must-have gadget costs more than just money. Its cost is actually measured in lost opportunities. The average person spends about $3,381 on impulse buy. 48% of social media users buy things just because they saw them on social media. Now, if you invested that $3,381 every year with a 7% return, which is lower than the average annual return of 10% the S&P has returned over the past couple of decades, you would actually have over $53,000 in 10 years. That is $16,000 in pure gains on top of your money just by saying no to things you probably didn't need in the first place. But is it just wealth which goes down the drain from trying to look rich? Not exactly. There is an even bigger price. Close your eyes and think about this. What would your life look like if you did not care what anyone thought and built quiet wealth? You gain something far more valuable than status, and that is freedom. And 3 types of freedom, to be precise. First, freedom to choose. If you want to switch careers, start a side hustle, or take a career break, you can, because you are not buried in debt. Number 2, freedom to think. You can make decisions that align with your goals, not what the society expects. And number 3, freedom to act. When opportunities arise, you're ready because your finances are in order. I remember a partner in my previous firm who was a millionaire but used to drive a Honda, and many people in that firm who earned 10% of what he did annually drove around in luxury cars, taken out on loans with atrocious amount of interest each month, and yet they'll complain why their salary was not enough and lived paycheck to paycheck. I will let you decide who made the smarter financial choice. Now you might think, does not looking rich mean looking broke and poor? Well, absolutely not. This is where the 80-20 lifestyle kicks in. You can use a practical framework called the Pareto principle, also known as the 80-20 rule, which states that roughly 80% of effects come from 20% of causes. Steve Jobs famously applied this at Apple by focusing on a few core products like the Mac, and iPhone. In your lifestyle, this means spending well on the 20% that truly matters, like good hygiene, high quality, well fitted clothes, and confidence boosting essentials. And you skip the 80% that you don't need, it's just wants, or it's just flashy watches or buying something for its logo instead of its function. This strategy is how the wealthy maintain a polished, authentic image without falling into the trap of overspending. So, in short, looking rich isn't what makes one wealthy. In fact, it's what can keep you stuck. The truly wealthy embrace the psychology of stealth wealth, avoid distractions of maintaining an image, negotiate better deals, and build authentic relationships. They understand the compound cost of looking rich, not just in dollars, but in lost opportunities and freedom. And speaking of opportunities to create silent wealth, I believe AI will create the most silent millionaires in the next 10 years. Learning how to communicate with AI effectively will separate those who'll get ahead from those who fall behind. You might like this video where I help you master 80% of prompt engineering in under 10 minutes. And don't forget to hit subscribe and join me in exploring finance, personal growth, and AI.